Good morning, dear candidates. So we are here with the TAT story which we had promised that we are going to cover during the next video. There was large number of candidates approaching us, particularly after our last TAT video in which we covered the common mistakes. Based on the popular demand, we floated a story through all channels, particularly through Instagram, through our various groups, and also through our website. And what an overwhelming response we got. There are thousands of candidates who have written the story and sent to us. So, remember candidates, the TAT will lay more emphasis on you just because it is one of the most important tests in the Psych series. And it accounts for virtually 50 to 60% of the weightage. It not only you got to write those 12 stories, but also in stage 1, it plays a very important role. So boys and girls, what are the common mistakes most of the candidates have done? If you analyze your stories, the common mistakes are somewhat repetitive. You do not follow the principle of story writing which I had covered in my last video. You do not observe the picture correctly, therefore your stories become unrelated to the scene which is given to you in the picture. Some of your stories are wishful and some of the stories are impractical. The planning part lacks in your stories, and some of you just describe the picture, and some of you write the preconceived stories. Why so many mistakes? So what we are going to do today, we will read out 4 of the selected stories, and I will give out the names of the candidates as well, and we will analyze them thereafter. So coming to the first story which has been sent by a candidate, the Invincible 1.0. What an interesting name he has selected for himself. Now the story is in your screen and goes like this.
Suresh and Lalita are best friends and pursuing computer science engineering from BITS Bilani Engineering College, Rajasthan. They are currently giving their 7th semester exams. The exam is scheduled at 10 am to 1 pm. As on usual day of the data structures exam, they were planning to reach center by 9:30. But while they were going to college by cab, got stuck in the traffic jam and were late as the time was ticking 9:45. So they analyzed the situation and the distance to be covered to reach college at earliest. So they figured out a shortcut 2-kilometer path by walking through the park and reaching college the earliest. They decided and proceeded with the plan, reached college at 9:57 and luckily gave the exam. And after the exam, they decided to get up early and reach college 45 minutes before the commencement of the exam.
Now dear candidates, you heard the story. You can clearly make out that how impractical the story is. Do you agree that this particular candidate has not observed the picture correctly? Why? It lacks originality, and the candidate has not comprehended the problem properly. In this case, if you look at the boy and the girl who are the main players in the story, they are actually looking back and some danger lurking behind. They are running away. Now this boy talks about the traffic jam, whereas the story is of a jungle. Even if they got stuck in the traffic, then how the hell they can reach to the examination hall through the jungle? And he is taking just 9:45, they got stuck at the traffic jam, and 10 minutes they cover virtually, I think, 2 kilometers, and they reach the examination hall at 9:57. It also looks a bit carelessness on the part of the hero. Look how lazy he is Even for exam, he is not getting on time. It lacks proper planning on the part of the hero. And he is going late and thereafter flapping at the last moment and able to reach just at the nick of the time. So all these things make the story impractical, lack of planning, lack of observation of the picture correctly, also somewhat wishful. So you will be able to now understand, looking at the picture, understanding that there is a danger behind, he projected or rather created entirely a new scenario which was not related to the picture. So it is basically lack of factor 1, effective intelligence and reasoning ability as well, besides lack of planning on his part, and also it displays casualness on the part of the hero. Boys and girls, now the second story we are going to cover on the same picture has been sent by V. Kumar 1807, and the story is in front of your screen and goes like this.
Rudra and Priya were a young married couple, aged 29 and 27 respectively. There was a run for women empowerment to be organized in the locality by the Rotary Club. Rudra insisted that they both take part in it. Rudra started training his wife in the morning by making her run and motivating her. He insisted her on taking some serious, strict diets and drinking a lot of water. She improved her skills and stamina. Both of them took part and completed it well ahead of others. They were happy and also motivated others to improve their lifestyle and unite for a cause.
Look here, candidates, now. This story is obviously preconceived. Now look at the picture again. I told you the picture is the boy is literally pulling the girl, thinking that there is a danger behind. And what is the danger now? That was to be analyzed. That was left to you. Now look, this boy is talking about the women's empowerment run. And look, this run is taking place in a jungle. In this run, only a boy and a girl are participating. Look at the dress of the boy and girl. Are they in a dressed up properly? And Rudra and Priya, the husband and wife who want to participate in a run which is organized by the Rotary Club. But nothing is matching in the picture with the preconceived story. Neither their dresses, nor the scene, nor the people around, and nor the boy, the way he's preparing his wife just by diet. How to prepare for a run? It is by running itself. He could have made her run number of times. Of course, the diet also matters. And what kind of matches in the end he is trying to give. So, dear candidates, look at this again. If you miss out the correct scene of the picture, you will go totally on a tangent. And again, the picture is not up to the mark. Okay, dear candidates, now we come to the third story. And the third story has been sent by Ashito Ash Achumi. My God, what kind of names you guys really select. Anyway, names are very innovative. Now, the story is in front of your screen and it goes like this.
Newton, a hard-working brother, loved her sister more than himself. They lost their parents at a very young age, which compelled Newton to take a part-time job as a paper boy. His job was to wake up at 3 a.m., collect newspaper and distribute it. And by his little earning, he was managing his sister's school fees. One day, Newton saw an advertisement of career guidance seminar given freely by Pathfinders. He was tempted to take his sister since there were no educated elders to guide his sister for her career. Newton's sister was slightly introvert and wasn't keen for outings, which made Newton force his sister to attend the seminar. Newton took his sister to the career guidance seminar, and soon that day his sister decided to pursue BA History. after 12th and be an IAS one day. Newton's sister approach towards studies changed from that day onwards. It was an enlightenment for both.
Dear candidates, you heard the Newton's story also. Now look at this again. You will understand now this boy has made a story again which is unrelated to the picture. That's the reason I will reiterate now, boys and girls, what is the main principle of writing the story so that your originality remains intact. You don't have to copy somebody's story, or you don't have to even follow our story blindly. It is simply the first principle of writing a TAT story is look at the picture properly, means observe the picture properly. See what's happening. And thereafter the second point is what has led to this situation. And the third and the most important point is what is likely to happen with a solution, because leaders are always looking for solutions. Even a tragic situation of an accident or of a hospital, of a death, of even a flood can ultimately be solution oriented. That's all we look from you. If you look any picture with this kind of mindset, let me tell you, you will start writing the story in the correct context. Now here, Newton has made a story which is firstly unrelated to the picture again, and the second thing, he has assumed too many things. Look, right in the beginning, what a tragic scene he has created. He has virtually invented lots of problems which he will find very difficult to handle. The parents are dead. Look at this newspaper boy Newton now. He is financing the education of his sister all by himself. This writer, trying to gain sympathy, he's created the most idealistic kind of scenario where everything happens the way he wants, which it may not. How difficult it is for someone who do not have parents. Imagine how he is going to lead and educate his sister, and he is making his sister an IAS officer. Look how over ambitious he is. Does anyone becomes IAS officer just like that? How exaggeration you can find in his story. So boys and girls, and look at the scene of the jungle where there is a danger behind you, you are looking at the danger. The story should have been related to that. He has taken the scenario entirely on a different plane and made a story which is just becomes a wishful and very idealistic and over ambitious story. A bit of reward seeking tendency can also be seen in the character of the hero. So I will again say this story is just a plain, a very average story with a lot of impractical aspect. Boys and girls, the fourth story has been given by Sumit Pandey, and the story is in front of a screen and goes like this.
Sushil and Ridhima both were colleagues who went for a picnic tour in a forest camp with a group. At night, the group was attacked by some local robbers, and as they were not sleeping, Sushil take Ridhima away from camp as she was the only girl in a group. Later, Sushil with his friends diminished the group of robbers fiercely and got Ridhima back successfully.
Dear candidates, now the fourth story you heard. Let me tell you, in this story, at least the scenario which he has painted looks a bit realistic. Look, it's about the jungle. It's about the friends who have gone to the jungle, and they have gone on a picnic, but remaining part of the story, he has gone in total Bollywood kind of story he has made. But he could comprehend the picture properly. Yes, it is a scene of a jungle. Yes, there was a danger behind, but the way he has now described his story becomes little too illogical, a bit impractical, and also unrealistic. So, here, firstly, the robbers come. The robbers are armed always. And look, these boys and girls, there is only one girl just by chance in that group, which may not be really a practical scenario. Even if it happens, now Sushil is going to take that girl. Where he has gone, nobody knows. And look at that now, without any kind of fight which they would have given, how they fought with the robbers, what was the robbers' numbers, how could they diminish the gang? Where is the police? At least somebody should have tried to call the police also. So, overall picture which he has created is completely unrealistic. That is the fault in this story. He should have, if they were robbers, firstly, he could have, shown just about two robbers, so that group being large in size was able to confront them, able to gherav them, and able to arrest them, oblique, get hold of them, and thereafter they were to be handed over to the police. Such kind of scenarios should have been created. Rather than the gang of robbers, it is not known how many these candidates group is not known. Why the girl is being taken somewhere, after that there is no mention of her, and how they could diminish, liquidate this gang without any weapons. And this kind of scenario looks a bit wishful, over ambitious, unrealistic, impractical. So that is the fault where the writer has gone to. I hope you people are now understanding how to weave the right kind of story. Now, my dear candidates, how you should have gone about it. Had you observed the picture properly, the boy and the girl are running. It's a jungle scene. And the way the boy is looking behind, you can clearly make out there is a danger behind it. Now, what is the danger is the first question. Based on that, your story will take the correct shape. Now, the danger in the jungle, if you think, could be either there is an wild elephant or a normal elephant which they have seen, or some other animal they have seen, or they might have seen some goons, or it could be a bear, or it could even be some robbers, or such kind of thing. So you have to first identify what is the danger behind, why this man is trying to save the girl. So that should be the first thing in your mind, and your story will take shape correctly. Now, the second thing, I will give you two stories here only. Suppose the boys and girls have come for a picnic, and suddenly they saw an elephant. And this girl, call her Geeta, looking at the elephant, she fell down. Mohan, who was a very brave, courageous and risk-taking boy, he immediately rushed to the girl when the girl was in utter panic, when everybody was running for his life. She held the hand of the girl and tried to take her away from the elephant. And that's the scene in the picture, and you see the boy is looking behind, and he took the girl away to a safety zone, informed the forest guard, also ensured that the forest people push back the elephant. Then he joins his group, and they had a very nice time and came back after the picnic. A simple scenario which could have been logical. For that matter, if you don't want to have the elephant, this group of students could have seen even a bear, and the similar kind of story could have taken shape. Or for that example, for that matter, it could have been, say, two goons who were trying to molest a girl, and this group now of the students, in which Mohan is the lead hero, he confronts these goons and he was able to save that girl, and he wanted to take the girl away from these goons who had drunk, and that's why he is taking the girl to the safe area, and thereafter he and his friend apprehend these goons. Or he may go and lodge the FIR to the police station if he is all by himself. If he suppose the scenario could be like this: a boy with a girlfriend went and suddenly met two goons or a robber there in the jungle. Seeing that, realizing that the robbers are armed, he thought he will be able to quickly make his escape good, and that's how he's running away from this thing. And after that, his action gets completed only either he has informed the forest officials or he has lodged a fire and ensured that these bad characters are brought to book. So you could have easily developed a story like this rather than implanting a jungle scene where there is a danger behind to a city area which is completely unrelated. So again, I repeat the story writing mantra. Those 4 points you should never forget. Dear candidates, soon we will be receiving a lot of comments from you about this video, and I can assure you, based on your comments, we are next time going to send you 2 stories instead of 1. Please wait for that. Please send your version as early as possible so that you understand what are the mistakes you are committing. And remember, in a story, rather than going for a preconceived story, rather than going for a wishful story or a story which is impractical, be original. Make your own story with this background in mind which I have told you, with this formula in mind, and practice about 20 to 30 stories. You will develop the right thinking which is required to weave a correct story. Thank you so much.
Thank you for watching this video. I hope that you found it useful. Don't forget to share it with your friends. Do also leave us a comment down below with suggestions for future videos. If you haven't subscribed to the channel already, make sure that you hit the subscribe button and also the notification bell icon so that you don't miss any of our future videos. If this was one of the first videos that you saw from SSB Sure Shot Academy, I would be very happy to inform you that we have 2 state-of-the-art campuses, one in Bangalore and the other one in Hoshiarpur, Punjab. There is a 3rd branch also coming up in Rudrapur, Uttarakhand. In all these branches, we have state-of-the-art campuses with a full-fledged GTO ground as well. All the instructors at all these branches are elite ex-armed forces officers with years of experience behind them. So every month we have 3 batches of a 12-day SSB course. Apart from that, we also have weekend courses for people who are working professionals or are students. Apart from that, we also have a 4-day GTO course, and we also organize a PPDT and GTO overview for a very nominal charge. We also have written exam courses for NDA, CDS, FCAT, INET and the Territorial Army. Apart from these, for the people who cannot make it over to our academy, we also organize online personal interviews which will be taken by Major General VPS Bhakuni, who is also a former commandant of the SSB center in Bangalore. We also have an online psych test. If you really want the worth of your money, then I would suggest that you go for the online interview and the psych assessment test combo, which you can avail for a discounted price. So if you're interested to know more about any of these courses or the online interview, make sure that you give us a call on the number which is appearing on your screen. You can also drop us an email at info@ssbshoreshot.com. Follow us on Instagram for all the latest updates from our academy. Once again, if you found this video helpful, make sure that you give it a thumbs up and make sure that you subscribe for our future videos. Till then, goodbye and take care.